Hello and welcome back to Hurmasice. Today I'm going to be showing you a very easy recipe, perfect for beginners, hurmasice. So stay tuned for this recipe. So this is one of the many ways that I'm going to be showing you guys how to make hurmasice. So I begin with 2 eggs, I'm adding my sugar, I'm adding some yogurt in there, pretty much all of my wet ingredients, some butter, a whole stick of butter that's room temperature, it's just easier to mix, and then I'm just going to mix this with an electric mixer until everything is well combined. I forgot to add my vanilla sugar and my baking powder. I use a whole package of each into my mix that until well combined, and then we're going to add our coconut and our flour. Now for this recipe, this particular recipe, coconut is recommended. It gives it a nice bite, a nice chew to the hurmasice. It's not really noticeable when you're eating it, but you can definitely feel something chewing in there. So I do recommend using it. Unless you're allergic to coconut, then you can just add an extra 2 tablespoons of regular flour. Then be sure to use a spatula to mix everything until well combined. What I love about this dough is it comes together so beautifully. You'll see now it forms really nicely. I'm going to show you guys, I'm pressing it into my palm and you can see how nice and creamy it is. It's not greasy, it's perfect. It's the perfect consistency. So just mix until the flour is incorporated into your wet ingredients. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to take a scale, and if you don't have a scale at home, I highly recommend purchasing one. They're really good to use for making pizza, for making desserts. So what I do is I weigh them out. These were 1.5 ounces, which were perfect. I like them bigger, as I mentioned in my Instagram post, but it's up to you. You can make them smaller. I just like them bigger and serve one, big one instead of 2 small ones, but it's totally up to you. And what I do is I roll them out and I measure them. They have to be the width of my palm. I roll them out and then I use a potato smasher and I press it in there really deeply. Now this particular recipe, they do double in size, so you won't really see the decoration at the end, but they're really pretty, when you're forming them like this. So you don't have to do a decoration, it's totally up to you. But again, I roll them out into a ball, then I roll them so that they're the width of my palm. And then I just shape them into that classic hurmasice style, that like long oblong kind of shape. And then I press in really deeply with a potato smasher. Again, like I said, you don't need to do the decoration because it just doubles in size and the decoration's kind of gone at the end, but it's totally up to you. And see how pretty they are, even though it's a complete waste of time. So we're gonna bake these at 380 for like 15-20 minutes. Mine took, I think, 20 minutes, just until they're beautiful and golden brown. That's what we're looking for. And then we're gonna make our simple syrup while they are baking. It's easy, you guys. If you've been following me, you mix your sugar, your water together, let that come to the boil, let it come to a boil, and then you're gonna put that down to medium, low for like another 15 minutes. We just want that sugar and that water to blend nice and beautifully. And then we are going to pour them over our hurmasice. Now remember, we're not going to pour it right out of the oven. We're going to give the hurmasice at least 2 to 3 minutes for them to kind of chill before we pour the simple syrup over them. Okay, so I just want to show you, they're like soft, fluffy clouds. Like I'm pressing in. I mean, they're absolutely amazing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pour over my simple syrup, and I don't pour the whole thing. I leave like a cup out, and what I do is I pour it and I let it sit for like half an hour, and I see if they've absorbed everything, kind of like what the situation is. So if they've absorbed everything, they look nice and moist. I don't put that other cup in. If I think that they need it, I think that they're still dry, I'm going to pour it over. So 30 minutes later, this is what they look like. They've completely absorbed all that simple syrup. So those 3 cups that I put in, remember I have another cup on the side. I decided to pour it. Now, if you decide to pour that 4th cup, keep in mind that they're going to be like drenched in the simple syrup. So if you like desserts like that, by all means, go ahead. If not, leave it to the side, leave that simple syrup to the side. And then if you try them and you're like, no, I need some more, you can always pour it over, totally fine. All right, and the very last thing that I do is I like to sprinkle them with some shredded coconut. You can also do chopped nuts like walnuts. That would be really nice on top, just to give it a little color or something different on top. And then these are best when they're cooled completely. You can put them in the fridge and then you can serve them. I don't recommend eating them hot. And there you have it, Hurmasice. If you haven't made desserts or if you're nervous to make these old school desserts, I highly recommend starting with this recipe. It's really easy to make, very foolproof, and they come out so nice and so fluffy. You guys can see, I mean, they're like a cloud. They literally melt in your mouth. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel, add me on Instagram, and I will see you guys next time.